Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Whitey. This is my first video. Oh yeah, by the way, don't mind the mess. Coco's back there having a play day today. She's kind of getting stuff all over the floor. But anyway, this is my first video regarding vaping. So be a little bit lenient on me. I just kind of wanted to provide some information of where I started from, why I started vaping, and where I'm at now. Maybe somewhere along the lines of this conversation, somebody might get some good information from it. But basically, I stopped smoking a long time ago, in my early 20s. But as soon as I did, I started dipping. I started chewing tobacco, and anyway, over the years, it's really done a number on my teeth. I made the conscious decision that I wanted to go get my teeth fixed, but I didn't want to do it while I was still dipping. So I began vaping in order to see if I could actually quit dipping. And it worked. I did what everybody else does. I went to a smoke shop that was local here and bought a little Ego setup and come with a little bitty black battery. One of the cheap iClear 16 single coil setups and everything. And I smoked on that for quite a while, and it actually helped. I quit dipping completely. But a very good friend of mine come over, and he brought me, him and his fiance brought me a Vamo V3. And as you can tell, it has been well used. But anyway, I used this Vamo V3 and got a hold of a Kangar Pro tank, Kangar Pro 3, a couple of other tanks, and I was really enjoying it. I have an extensive background in electronics as well as things such as competition car audio and stuff. So dealing with impedances and stuff is nothing new to me. I did mess around and end up getting a hold of a SmokeTech SID. Really nothing different between this and the Vamo. They both put out 15 watts max. It was just, a little nicer looking, newer and stuff. Anyway, I was really enjoying tearing down those Kangar 3s and rebuilding the coils in them and stuff, and it was fun, but I was very limited because of the space of the chamber and chimney and stuff. And anyway, my friend came back over, and they had brought me a gift. They had brought me a UD AGI Genesis tank. It's actually a hybrid because you can do both Genesis or you can take the top off. This top piece right here comes off, and you can actually convert it over to a dripper. It doesn't work so well as a dripper unless you just want to run a single coil because of the way the posts are in it. But I spent quite a bit of time using cotton wick and running a single coil in it. It was pretty enjoyable. I liked it. But just like everybody else, or almost everybody, because not everybody's the same, but I had created a vision in my head of my needs and my goals, and my goals were a conglomeration. It was 50% of it was I needed nicotine and I needed flavor, and the other 50% of it was I had watched so many YouTube videos and seen all these people enjoying blowing like big old cumulonimbus clouds out of their mouth, and so I kind of meshed those two together, and I set up a personal goal for myself that I wanted to achieve more and more vapor, but also wanted to continue doing what I was doing. I really wanted to continue enjoying something, and basically turn around and I got the Russian 91%. This is a K-Phone style. I'm sure all of you are familiar with it, but there's probably a lot of you out there that have never hit one of these. And let me tell you something. I put it together, threw a coil in it, threw a wick in it, filled it up with juice. I hit it. Man, it was crazy. It was impressive. It was the most flavor I'd ever had. It was the most concentrated flavor that I'd ever actually had. And I was building like 1.3 ohm to 1.5 ohm coils in it using 28 to 30 gauge Canthal, and was really enjoying it. The only issue with it is I hit a brick wall with it, because once you get something like this and you build it and you put it together and you smoke on it, there's really nothing else to do. The only time you tear it apart then is just pull the wick out, burn it off, put a new wick back in it, fill it up, call it done. And that actually kind of made me sad. It bored me to death because I was really enjoying tearing everything down and playing with them, putting it back together, trying different things and stuff. And for a long time, I had avoided trying to get a mechanical mod because I have way too many hobbies already. Usually when I get a hold of a hobby, I try to continuously take it farther than it needs to go. So, but once I hit the wall with that Russian 91, I kind of felt like maybe I needed to go one step farther. So I did invest in a Nemesis mod. Really like this Nemesis. It's nice and lightweight. It's pretty small compared to, I mean, if you look at that next to the SmokeTech SID, you can definitely tell there's a large differentiation in size between the two. Of course, it's got your 510 connector on it and everything. Only issue I have with this is adjusting the firing pin for the different types of batteries and stuff in it. If you don't get it adjusted right, the button will stick out a little too far. You try to hit it, sometimes the button will catch and it won't fire. You have to pull it out and adjust it and fiddle with it a little bit. But once you get it set, it's all good in the neighborhood. Anyway, I got a hold of that, and I got a hold of, I don't know if you can see that. That is a UD Igo-W, and let's put this on here and show you here. I've actually been vaping on this all day, and I've been enjoying it. This right here, that is dual coil. It's 24 gauge Canthal. That is 5 wraps around a 1/8 inch drill bit. That gives me just about half an ohm, I believe. No, that was the build last night. I'm sorry. This is about 0.3 ohms. Doing 0.3 ohms, and I'm using cotton yarn that I bought from Walmart. It's solid white. Of course, I boiled it like I'm supposed to. Inside, I'm using a Sony. This is the 2100 milliamp hour battery from Sony. US 18650. And let me show you how this thing vapes. And I'm actually very impressed with just a simple dual coil setup in this. This is nothing special. This is something everybody can do. Don't have to have any special skills to build these coils. But let me show you what this will do. One more, because the second hit's usually better after it dries up the wicks a little bit. So, whew, that's good. And what I'm using right here, by the way, this is from Venom Vapes. This is 80/20 VG to PG, 12 milligram. I have to have a little bit more nicotine in it because, you know, I quit dipping. Chewing tobacco has a lot more nicotine in it than cigarette does. But anyway, this is their, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's their strongest menthol that they have. And this will clear you right up. Let's do one more. So as you can see, that vape's pretty hard, and the flavor is tremendous. One thing I do want to tell you is I have drilled both of the holes out on this. I believe those are 1/8 inch. Yes, they are 1/8 inch holes. I drilled those out, so I get quite a bit of better airflow. But what I decided to do now that I've got a mechanical mod, I decided I wanted to have some fun. And so I took my Russian 91 and I used 24 gauge Canthal, and I did five wraps on it and ended up at half an ohm. And I wanted to see what a half ohm build would do in a Russian. One thing I do need to tell you is I did drill out the air hole on this thing because the original hole on this provided too tight of a draw. It was almost impossible to get the amount of vape that I wanted out of it. The flavor was just way too hot. I did drill it out. Granted, I didn't spend the big bucks and get the carbide tip bits or anything. I just got regular drill bits. It took me about 4 hours to drill this thing out. It was nuts. But anyway, 24 gauge Canthal, 4 or 5 wraps. I can't remember. I did it really late last night. Anyway, half an ohm, running on the mechanical mod, and this is just a Russian 91. Let's see what this thing will do. See, that's actually not bad for just a Russian. And the flavor on that thing is still, it's off the chain. It hits hard. It's like boom, boom, boom right there, you know? One more. So, there's the Russian. So now what I believe that I have is I believe I have the two perfect setups. So when I'm sitting at home and I want to blow big clouds and have some fun, and I don't mind dripping, then this is what I'm going to run. And this is what you'll catch me sitting in a recliner with, cooling back, watching TV. I'll have that, have my bottle in my hand, be dripping away, having a good time. When I'm going to go on the road and I got to drive, don't nobody want to drive with their knee trying to drip. You know, I mean, you might as well be texting and drinking beer if you're going to do that. That's ridiculous. So this is what I'm going to be carrying in the car with me at all times. I'm definitely going to be keeping the Russian with me. I was going to sell it, but no, absolutely not. Because to be honest with you, the flavor concentration that comes out of this thing is exactly as good as this, if not better. In fact, in a lot of cases, the flavor concentration that comes out of the Russian 91 by far exceeds that of that dual coil dripper setup just the way it is. That doesn't mean it will always be that way, but set up the way that it is, yeah, it's definitely just as good. So if you don't have one of these, get you one of these. Trust me, you will enjoy it, you will like it, and you don't have to do a crazy half-on build in one of these, believe it or not. You can take 30-gauge Kanthal, do 10 to 12 wraps, I believe, around a small upholstery needle, and you can get it to about 1.3 ohms. You can put it on a Vaping mod, and you just will not believe the flavor. It's amazing. It's intense. They really knew what they was doing when they was building this. So anyway, I'm gonna chalk this up. We'll do one more pull off the dripper, and we're gonna call this good. One more can. So, comment, subscribe, let me know what's up. Take care.